Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another very popular podcast from Overbite Gaming. I'm the Majestic Snare, here to talk about absolute bullshit, along with Lee. Hello, Lee. There we
Hello.
go. Now, some of you might have noticed already, I don't know if it's going to come out in the video, that there's the sound of a fan in the background because it's fucking boiling in the UK right now. So,
36.9 degrees Celsius, I think.
what for you?
No, I mean like overall in the country.
Oh,
Like,
overall, I think the top temperature was like 38.1 today. So, yeah, so excuse the potential fan hum in the background. I'll try and get rid of it. Don't know if it's going to work, so we'll just have to live with it. So, yeah, we're profesh. So, Lee, how you been, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. Got over me cold. It was a bit rough here and there. So yeah, but got through it, and I'm here drinking beer. So what more could you want?
I could want you to shut up, but that's probably too early to be nasty to you on the podcast. Wait at least 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not drunk enough yet. I can probably defend myself.
Yeah, so while we're all boiling ourselves in our houses in the UK right now, I'd love to know what it's like where you are, because this is basically climate fucking change in action, where it's completely fucking us up with an extreme temperature. So wherever you are in the world, drop us a comment down below and say where you are and how hot it is right now in centigrade, please. So that'd be lovely. Cool.
Yeah, no Americans.
Come on, Americans make up like 90% of our audience. So hi, y'all.
Yeah, but they don't understand centigrade.
All right, Fahrenheit then. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just
There you go.
make sure it's clear and distinct with an F or a C. It's fine.
I'll give you an F and a fucking C, mate.
So let's get talking about shit about gaming, shall we?
Yes. Well, actually, I wanted to talk about. Well, obviously, we have The Boys is releasing on Amazon tomorrow,
Which you did a video about.
I did, and you should all watch that because that should tell you everything you need to know going in. I have found out some additional information since then, though.
Go on.
It doesn't look like the boys have powers.
Boo! But I always thought they didn't actually have powers until they took the V.
Yeah, but when they were inducted into the boys, they got the shot of V then, didn't they?
Oh right, well, like a booster. They have a booster to use the V more like superheroes. It's been a while. I've got to reread the damn series. I really have to because it's a great series.
Yeah, I'm halfway through it. So yeah.
I accidentally bought a French version of one of the volumes.
Well, you can speak French. Can you read it?
Yeah, of course I can. But I couldn't at the time.
So how does Frenchie sound? Do they have them like English or something?
Well, it just sounds pretty normal, to be fair.
Mr. Charcuterie.
Well, the weird thing is, I wonder if they actually switch it around in the French, because it's been a long time since I've read any of them, let alone the French one. But obviously to us, it's like he does have his French phrases in the comic. So in a French version, I wonder if it's messed up and it just sounds like normal.
Yeah, if only we knew someone that had a French version of The Boys to have a look at that and find out.
Yeah, well, I can't get to it right now. It's stocked away somewhere. But seriously, I need to look at it and reread it. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think we were just talking about it for those of you at home, and yeah, we're both going to watch it tomorrow. We might do a cheeky review of the first episode.
Might do. I think we're going to, Lee, aren't we? So.
Yeah, because I mean, gaming-wise, not a lot of great interest has come out, so we don't really have a review plan. So we may as well do that instead. Woo!
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a weird time of year. I mean, when it comes to this point in the year, you've always got a lull at the summertime because people are generally spending more time away from their gaming devices, rather doing like normal life stuff than going on holiday and stuff. And maybe that will change in the future, but at the moment, yeah, it seems very strange that. Well, it's not strange. It's something that you notice every year that games have a lull in this period. So for us doing reviews, it's a fucker because we don't have anything to review.
Oh, it's not that much of a fucker. I'm skint.
Well, there's that as well. I'm not, though.
Oh, right. Well, you can buy it all for me then. I will allow this.
Well, I don't know. I'm buying too many special editions. I might be skint when they come in. So.
Oh, God, yeah. You're mental. So, yep, The Boys is out tomorrow, so we'll have a look at that. And also something else I'm very excited for, I think is out tomorrow, and that is Shazam is releasing on Amazon Instant.
I've got that on Blu-ray order, so I don't know. I think that's coming when I get back from holiday.
Yeah, I think it's August that comes out on Blu-ray.
Hmm.
So yeah, super excited for that.
Ah,
I love Captain Marvel, and I refuse to call him Shazam because he's Captain fucking Marvel.
well, on that point of Captain Marvel, I watched Captain Marvel just the other day. I
Yeah,
wasn't impressed at all, really.
it was very mediocre in my opinion.
Yeah, it was a bookend film. It was just there, just clearly. I haven't seen Endgame yet. I'll just point out I'm one of those people.
Yeah, me
Um,
too. I'm waiting to watch it at home with a beer in hand and my cock in my other hand.
God, it started already. 5 minutes in. Now can I be nasty to you?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I watched Captain Marvel and I couldn't get on with it. Like the third act of the film where she basically becomes Captain Marvel properly.
Yeah,
And it's at that point where you realise, okay, so you can't really be hurt. You can have this immense amount of power. I've got nothing relationship wise to this character. I've got no relation and I can't just accept this character. Everyone else has had a flaw. Every other hero has got something about them that's, a weak point. Superman's kryptonite, that kind of thing. Everyone's got a fucking weakness, but for her, it was like, nothing was even bothering to cause her a concern. So I just thought, this is a pointless film. There's nothing
well,
happened.
well, it wasn't consistent either because she got like tased with one tasery thing, and then when she wakes up after being mind fucked, they tase her with like 40 of them, and it doesn't affect her anymore for some reason. I'm just like, hey,
Yeah, because
what?
reasons. But another film I watched just after that, which restored my faith in like general sci-fi, and I was going to say it pretty much is a comic book film, but I watched Alita, Battle Angel.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet. I had a choice between getting a Lita or Us, and I bought Us.
Well, Alita, Battle Angel, the elements of CGI in it are fucking fantastic, but it's obviously got James Cameron involved in it, so it's very Avatar-y. But he was dealing with that a long time. The part that really intrigued me the most and got me the most was the fact that it was just this nice, simple story, and it was I can't never say his name, Rodriguez, as director, but doing a James Cameron type film in a James Cameron type way. But in terms of the actual kind of the female protagonist and the moves that she's busted in that, I never read the manga that's based on, but the intense connection to the original media is very, very clear in all the extras. It's very clear in once you understand what that link is within the actual film. But I really hope it gets a sequel because it really is left open ended. So I really want to watch it again.
Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed. I mean, I've not seen the movie, but I've seen all the trailers and stuff, and I was like, wow, I bet she's really attractive without all the CGI on her. And not really. I was a bit disappointed.
But I've got to say one thing: obviously she's mocapping for the most part, and I'm presuming they've put her face on, and Twiddle with the actual face and eyes and stuff. But the movement she's got, oh my god, she's fantastic as a martial artist, like a movie martial artist. She's got such good control of her body.
Yeah, I'm not sure that wasn't computer aided.
No. Obviously, the ridiculous stuff is computer aided, but there's basic stances and basic poses, basic movement that you wouldn't necessarily do as anything more than the mocap. But she just looks good. You know how like John Wick is great with the gun, and he does it like accurately. And he's obviously trained. Keanu Reeves is trained to do that properly, like loading the gun properly, shooting the gun properly, etc. It's that kind of thing, but for martial arts, when you watch someone do it on screen, that you go, that's not just someone on a wire. That's someone knowing a little bit more about their body than most people do.
I sense this may be leading into an equilibrium argument.
No, equilibrium was different. That was an interesting concept, but it wasn't something that was technically like, oh yeah, that's a good idea.
But interesting concept, you mean bullshit?
Well, yeah, I mean, it is bullshit. You can't just make a shape and bust a move and not get shot. That's just a silly idea.
Or stand like in the middle of like everybody and just swish your arms and don't actually move yourself.
Yeah, but it looks cool.
Yeah, that was all Kurt Wimmer wanted, though, wasn't it? It's just like, this looks cool. We do this. Cool.
Equilibrium, if those of you have never seen it, it's dystopian future. No one can feel any emotion, and it's illegal to like feel emotion. So you get these people that go out and collect all the artifacts that are contraband, and they employ something called gun fu. Well, they don't call it that in the film.
Gun Carter.
Oh, I said gun kata, but it's basically gun fu. So they bust these stupid moves and poses and shoot people in ridiculous instances, but they're very Matrix looking. That's the sad aspect of it, because it came out about the same year, I think, or just before Matrix popped. So everyone watched the Matrix instead.
Yeah, the problem with it, it's like the main character, basically have this medicine that sort of removes their emotions, and he misses like one dose, and he's off the plantation. It's like, who in that fucking city has never missed one dose, for fuck's sake?
Yeah, there is that. There's also bits in it. I mean, it's got a Sean Bean death, so he always dies in films, so it's not a surprise.
Sean Pertwee as well. He always dies in films.
Does he?
Yeah, especially if he's working with what's his face, that bastard that ruined Resident Evil, Paul Anderson.
Ah, okay. Maybe he just doesn't like him. What, McGee?
No. Neil Marshall. There you go.
Ah, right. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, it's worth a watch if you've never seen it, but it's a bit more of a theatrical play on film than it is a film. Do you think?
It is really heavy-handed in everything it does. There is no semblance of subtlety. It's like you sit in front of a movie and having it slap you in the face every so often and say, "Look, these sex offenders are good. Look, they have paintings. Oh no, they're burning paintings. Oh, a doggy."
Oh yeah, I forgot about that bit. But yeah, so that's films. I'm still looking forward to a number of sort of big hitting films that I haven't got around to watching yet.
Well, Endgame, obviously.
Endgame's a clear one.
I think that's coming out September.
Oh, and do you know one other thing about Captain Marvel that pissed me off?
Oh, go on.
If you haven't seen Endgame, don't watch the extras on Captain Marvel, because they clearly are showing a scene from Endgame. Assuming
I'm not sure. We need to watch Endgame before we make that assertion, but it's clearly set in the period of Endgame, even if it's not a scene from Endgame.
It might be a deleted scene, but whatever. It's like, don't assume that because you're releasing it now and it's been out in the cinema that you can show shit about a film that I don't want to know anything about until I watch it.
You didn't see like the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer, right?
Well, I haven't.
You didn't.
No, I haven't watched anything to do with that yet, because I don't.
Okay, good.
I don't want to watch anything to do with the stuff after Endgame until I've seen the fucking Endgame.
And there's a major thing in Endgame that happens that has a huge effect on Far From Home, and basically, the first trailer came out, and I think for the first couple of weeks there was like a little insert from Tom at the front, basically saying, "Look, if you haven't seen Endgame, don't watch this bloody trailer. It ruins shit." And then sort of like 2 weeks later, that was gone. So if you watch the trailer, you were just fucked.
That's so shit. That's awful. I just don't like the fact that we have to keep up. It's my old man syndrome kicking in. But if you want people to watch your film, then release it at the same time it comes out of cinema.
Well, wasn't that like going to happen like 2 years ago? That was going to be what was happening all the time.
Well, no, there was. I think is it the third Matrix film did that as a simultaneous release around the world?
Did we even have like digital movies then?
Well, no, because that was like 2005, I think. But
no, that was just a cinema release, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was the first time a film had been released at the same point in time across the world.
Mm.
So I can't. I mean, what annoys me, and I've banged on about it for ages, but with the big kind of series like The Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, I had to wait an entire year behind, even though I'd buy the Blu-ray when it came out on the first day, because they'd only released the last series to build up the hype for the next series. So if it came out in March and had its 10 episodes finishing in, I don't know, May or June, then you've got to wait an entire year, and it'll come out in fucking February for that season on Blu-ray as an actual physical disc. And I'm like, why are you doing that? That's just stupid. So
buy it digitally, but it comes out earlier. It's like a month, but still earlier.
Well, that's even fucking worse. I mean, what are you doing in all of that time? You've already filmed it. You've already released it and broadcast it. All of the behind-the-scenes footage has been taken behind the fucking scenes. Come on. I'll give you a couple of months tops.
Well, maybe it's you bastards that want physical edition. They're busy printing up the boxes and stuff.
Bullshit. I mean, they know they're going to be doing it. They know they're going to be releasing it. It's a fucking shit show. And so with things like Endgame, I'm annoyed at people in general for ruining films. Hopefully I haven't done that today because that would be really hypocritical. But I don't like people that come in and just start shouting about it as soon as they see, oh, have you seen Endgame? Oh, that bit when... And you're like, oh, I had to literally leave my desk at work a number of times to avoid it. So...
Yeah, I just give up. I mean, it's like, I don't want to see it at the cinema. I'm going to wait for it to come out digitally. Yeah, that's going to be like 3-4 months down the line. There's no way I'm going to be able to avoid spoilers. So I just embrace it. I'm like, right, let's go on fucking Wikipedia and read what the film's about. Because I'm like one of those people that
No.
it doesn't matter if I know what's happening. It's like, I read something, I go, oh man, I can't wait to see that.
No, it's like sitting down at a dinner table and telling a child there's cake at the end, and then they'll just ignore everything that's going to be put in front of them because they're just waiting for the cake. You know the detail, you're not going to listen or absorb anything else in the film, and it'll just be a case of, oh, I know what happens at the end. It's a stupid way to watch a film, Lee, and you know that.
Bullshit.
Yeah, you are bullshit. So yeah, I'm just not in a space happy with Marvel at the moment, but
then again, I'm the kind of guy that can watch like a movie over and over again if I really like it, and I'll be like, oh, I'm looking forward to when it gets to this bit. Ooh.
Well, yeah, no, I'm the same. I can do that, but I don't like the fact when the first time you watch a film should be the experience. You know, it's like being able to read a book again and experience it for the first time. You'll never be able to do that again.
No, but I mean, I reread my books as well, so. Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not saying you can't. You can reread something, you can rewatch something, but it will never be the same. And so that first time is important.
Can I?
Yeah, if you want. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, thank you.
So
I kept a bookshelf over there full of things I wasn't able to use.
Exactly. So wait, guys, if you're still with us while we're ranting about general like old man shit that we hate, well, I hate. Thanks, and I hope the fan noise isn't too bad. So, thanks.
Yeah, so I know you're a physical guy, but I really got to say I don't like physical like copies of things anymore. Just don't like them.
Why? Because there's not enough effort in it.
Well, no, there's space concerns. You know, I've got like a lot of bookshelves in my man cave, and they're full to burst in all of them. So there's a space concern, and like, you know, since like smartphones and shit like that, smart TVs, I don't want to fucking mess around like making sure I've got a DVD player or a Blu-ray player hooked up to shit. I just want to be able to be like, yeah, press a button, 4K, lovely.
Yeah, I do see the benefits of that, but one of the things I really enjoy with certainly films is the number of extras, decent extras you can get. I mean, some are shit, but some are great. So I don't see why they're not doing that in a lot of digital content.
They are.
No, Amazon are doing it with a couple of their series that I've seen, but I've never seen. You know, if I wanted to watch Alita, I wouldn't be able to get any of the extras with it as well.
Yeah, you will. There's 2 versions of it. I checked because I was looking for the 4K version, of which there's not one. What the fuck? I thought that'd be a movie worth watching in 4K. No. But there's your standard edition and your one with the special features.
But are they the same as the ones on the disc?
I don't have the disc or the digital copy, so I could not tell you one way or the other.
Because the extras that you'll get on the disc is 2 hours worth of featurettes.
Trying to remember how much. I mean, it's definitely like an hour and a half to 2 hours, I would have said.
I mean, can you remember back in the day when they used to do special features, scene selection?
Animated menu.
Yeah. Oh,
original trailer.
I remember still being absolutely like blown away when DVDs came out.
Yeah, what was your first DVD? Go on.
God, first DVD.
What was your first one?
To be honest, I think my first DVD was Matrix.
Yeah, mine was Blair Witch Project.
Oh.
And the second one was Deep Blue Sea.
Mine was Dragon, the Bruce Lee story.
Oh, nice. No, I bought that. I remember it because I'd just been made redundant. And I thought, I was on my way and I thought, fuck it, I'm going to buy a movie. Watch that this afternoon and get pissed. Did that. But it was at a time where I was afraid of sharks, so I couldn't look at the cover. So I established where it was from a distance. And I kind of went up to it and picked it up, and I just like little glance at the corner to make sure it was it. And I put it on the counter, and I was just like eye to eye contact with the salesperson, not looking at what was buying. I was like, "Thank you."
And you walked out with Teletubbies.
No, I walked up with the right one.
Oh, I do miss the Blu-ray, the DVDs. It was just an amazing time because I mean, having to put up with VHS, and then
rewinding was the whole thing there. I didn't really give a shit about the picture quality. It was the rewinding that pissed me off.
I actually bought a video player towards the very end of that kind of cycle of media, and I remember it had a special function. It had like 4 times rewind, which would be fine if it's a rental because it would ruin the fucking tape. But like, can you imagine like buying a VHS and going, "Oh, I can rewind it really quickly," and it'd be like, "Wow, snap!" And it's like, Jesus, that's so stupid.
Yeah, I paid like £380 for a Sony VHS recorder. Paid it on the like weekly sort of thing. But the best one I ever had was this fucking off-brand one, which I never heard of, and it had a repeat button. So what you could do is you press repeat button. No, it was just like repeat. So like you press repeat at the start of something and at the end of something, and it would repeat it 5 times. It would run it back on the tape and repeat it 5 times.
Yeah, I had one that did that. It was the AB function.
That's not what it was called on this one, but this is fucking probably 20 quid's worth of shit. So, but like I remember me and my mate Reese, we were up here and we're watching Bud the Chud 2, Bud the Chud, and there's a scene where they kick this poodle down the stairs, but it's obviously a fake poodle, and he literally bounces behind the couch and comes up and goes back down again. And for some reason, we just thought that was the most hilarious thing ever, and we just repeated that about 15 times.
Bless. Well, I like to see that our podcast has expanded from games to just general nostalgia.
Oh, we're old. That's all we've got.
Yeah, so we've got to look forward to is the demise of our country.
Fuck's sake, what are we going to look forward to on the horizon? The Google Stadia? Fuck off.
Oh, that looks like a fucking shit show, doesn't it? I mean, I saw a video from Clean Prince Gaming a couple of months ago, maybe a month ago, where he was sort of looking at the actual cost of Google Stadia, which is a point I'd never really bothered with because I'm not really interested in Google Stadia. But the idea that you are purchasing access to games that you don't get on top of your subscription price, and you're paying a certain amount per month. So over a console cycle, you're spending like $800 without any games.
And the one that comes with it, Destiny 2.
Yeah. Do you know what? I was almost going to buy the pre-order for that.
What, Destiny 2?
The the next one.
Destiny 3?
Well, the what do they call it? It's coming out in September. It comes with like a lot of tat. Oh God, like not Fallen, but it's a Forsaken account. I can't remember what it's fucking called now. But it's like the latest expansion that's got the new player experience. It's got the revamped Bungie's first effort without Activision's involvement.
They're doing a collector's edition of an expansion.
Well, yeah, because it's their first foray on their own, so they're making a big deal of it.
Fuck me, they're milking you like a son of a bitch.
I ain't bought it. No. I can't justify it because I just buy it to hate it, so I just can't do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like this whole Google Stadia thing. It's far too early for something like that.
Well, maybe, most first adopter type situations do fail. They don't hit the mark, and maybe Google can suffer it.
Well, it's not the first adopter, though. We've had like several streaming services, I'm not even talking like the Sony one or anything like that, but like independent ones that have been trying to do exactly this, and it just doesn't work very
well. PlayStation Now's been around for a little while. I've never actually tried it, but
that's been what does that say?
Well, you know me, I like my physical shit. I don't really like to deal with digital unless I can afford to. I mean, things like PC gaming, I think, is the only one that really benefits from digital. So
only because you don't have the extra tax that Sony and Microsoft put on their store prices.
Not just that, but also with a console, it's made for that particular console. Whereas a PC, it's there's so many different, well, not anymore really, but there's so many different ways of having a PC built and having space on your PC to store games is a lot easier to have a big old hard drive than it is to fuck about with one in your console.
Yeah, I need to get a new SSD because like it's just filling the fuck up, man.
Yep.
So I got like a 120 gig one. I thought, well, I just need that for the operating system. But Steam installs on it and all this other shit installs on it. And every time I get an update, I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I'm coming close to the top end of my storage.
So yeah, I mean, I've got other drives with empty space on, but I mean, it's stuff that I want to be running off an SSD, and you know, they come down in price. Like 100 quid to get you like about 500 not terabytes. Fucking hell, that'd be good. Gigabytes. So it's not. It's coming down.
You mean
gigawatts?
Yeah.
1.21 gigawatts.
Yep. Ah, beautiful, beautiful nostalgia. Yeah, so I can't be asked with Google Stadia either, mate. I think it's going to be a car crash, and it's going to be an expensive car crash, and it's only going to be really viable for well-off people in the UK and Europe that has decent fibre optic fucking broadband,
like me
and me. But I certainly wouldn't be paying money to play games on a service that I can get it on PC for fine and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, the thing is, it's like I almost bought into it. I was like £112. That sounds about right for a Christmas present. Maybe I should put that on my Christmas list or something. And then I was like, why? I have a fucking PC that doesn't have latency. Fuck off.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a classic case where they'll say it won't be a latent problem, but all it takes in any situation is for one person to have latency.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not like streaming TV, because like you ask for something on a streaming TV, it gets acknowledged its server and it starts to stream, and that's it. And you wait a couple of seconds for it to like get to you, and then it's all being streamed consistently. But on a game, it has to do that, but it also has to respond to the inputs that you're making. So you have to like wait for the inputs to reach it, process on that, and it can come back to you in the form of a video stream. So it's just problematic.
Yeah, well, I definitely think we should have a look at it, but I'm not going to be buying it. Fuck no.
You know, some idiot that is buying it, we can knob it off of.
No. I think we should just have a look at, personally looking to save money and not buy the fucking thing. To review videos that are coming out and see the general feeling and comment and add to the discussion, Lee.
Yes, I add to the discussion quite well.
But I'm not a big fan of it. And I mean, one thing that we're seeing with a lot of the AAA games, or AAA companies, well, not even AAA because they're all fuckers, but the drive seems to be to do the new thing or the big flashy thing, and it all falls down on its arse. And everyone listening would know, as well as you, that I'm a massive Warframe fan.
Yes.
And that plus, I think, EVE Online and a number of other kind of independent but well-known games. They have such a good community around them. That's the part that makes those games successful.
I've actually resubscribed to EVE Online last Friday.
See, I didn't even know that.
No one knows that. It's my dirty little secret.
I mean, I had a go at EVE Online, and I mean, games like Elite Dangerous as well has got quite a strong community.
Oh, Elite Dangerous, that is the game to have an Oculus Rift for.
Yeah, it is.
Superb.
But there's a lot of stuff that really has good communities associated with it, and I still stand by Digital Extremes and Warframe in terms of the model community. And
I don't stand by CCP though, the guys that do EVE, because they took away the media player in it, so you could like drop your songs into like an on-screen media player and have it play those songs. I used to do like the Transformers, the 80s movie, the soundtrack for that, like the Unicron medley and shit. That was super appropriate. Loved it. And they took it out one day, and I'm like, I sort of queried where it was, and I got fucking acerbic, sarcastic comment back. So I was like, "Fuck you, unsubscribe." And then there was a whole World of Darkness thing where they bought the licensing to World of Darkness and we're going to do a game and set a trailer. And I was like, whoa, that's like Vampire the Masquerade, Vampire Bloodlines, that, but World of Darkness, which is like the bigger one.
Mm-hmm.
And I was super stoked for it. And then they just went, nah, we're not going to do it anymore. I was like, bastards.
Well, we'll get disappointed. I mean, we're about to watch The Boys, and I bet we'll be disappointed by that either as well, because nothing good ever happens to me.
I must admit, I've been reading and watching some of the reviews, and all of them are pretty fucking good, mate.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, when I first started watching Preacher, I mean, you mentioned it on your video that I've stopped watching Preacher, but I will continue with it. I just got to find a time when I can be asked. But
it's free, so.
Well, it's not free, is it?
Well, it's included in what we're already paying for.
Exactly. Don't get confused. But yeah, so I mean, with the Preacher, the first like all the trailers to come up with it, and we were going, oh, great casting. There's good points and there's bad points. Watch the first couple of episodes, and I was a bit lost to start with. I was enjoying it because I wanted to enjoy it, and I got a horrible feeling I'm going to do the same with The Boys.
Well, the problem is whenever they've got like a film adaptation of a book or a comic book, yeah, it has to be changed to fit the medium. I understand that, but every change you make is generally speaking worse than what was in the book.
Well, for different reasons. I mean, you got to remember it's a completely different medium. So,
well, yeah, but I mean, if you're going to make a change to something that's good, make it better, not worse.
Well, to them it was better. To you, it's worse, and that's why it's difficult.
Oh, come on! You telling me Preacher the show is better than Preacher the book?
Well, no, that's why I've stopped watching it.
Exactly.
But there are parts.
Blown.
There are parts in the Preacher that are fantastic because they are exactly the same. But there's also the fact is that because they changed some things, like they made Arseface not so much of an arseface.
And also he went to How I Met Hitler.
You've ruined it for people now, idiot.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But yes,
no, he does.
Yeah, he does. But the whole thing in the story in Preacher was fantastic with Arseface, but in the series it was kind of like, oh, right, where's his subtitles?
Yeah.
Just
no, I mean, like in the comic book, and there will be spoilers from the comic book and what that is. So he sort of becomes like an Elvis figure because of his facial mutilation, makes him like this weird singer that youths are attracted to, and he has like a Colonel Parker kind of guy as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then he becomes like this motorbike riding badass, and then he settles down with a one-eyed woman.
Yeah. I just
there was no hell anywhere there.
No, maybe it was his torment, and they're just explaining it through the power of cinema.
And they did fuck up Angelville.
Yes, totally. Absolutely, totally.
I just wanted him to come out, big group of guys, and him say, "Burn, you fuckers."
Well, the one thing they did get right is the voice. I thought they did the voice, or the word, they did that pretty well.
Yeah, it does have its high points, but it was always like, that was good. But there was this bit from the comic that was better. Where's my sexual investigators? That's what I want.
Well, I think they're holding that back for another day if they are. But for me, one of my biggest problems with comic book to series adaptations, is the size of characters. They do try, but for me, they've still got it wrong in Carl Urban doing Butcher. He's not big enough.
Yeah, Butcher is a big motherfucker.
Negan is a big motherfucker, and we got a great actor doing Negan, but he needs a bloody bodysuit.
Yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is perfect for that role. If he was just like 15 to 20% bigger.
Yeah, 50 to 100 pounds extra weight of muscle. Because he's not a small guy, is he? Morgan?
Yeah, Negan always came across to me as kind of like a Charlie Manson type of guy.
Well, to me, he was just an absolute psycho, but he didn't fuck about. So the character of Negan in The Walking Dead has been done perfectly. It's exactly how he should sound, exactly how he should talk, exactly how he should joke and smirk and everything else. He nailed that, but he's just not big enough.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Jet Reacher thing. Jet Reacher's like
Yeah.
6'5", 250, and they cast Tom Cruise because he's paying for the production.
Oh, speaking of that, have you watched Corridor Digital's deep fake video with Tom Cruise in it?
No, I haven't actually.
Oh, that's creepy as fuck.
Well, Tom Cruise is creepy as fuck.
Yeah, but they did a deep fake of Tom Cruise, but got a Tom Cruise impersonator to do a skit with them. So it is actually Tom Cruise's face on a Tom Cruise impersonator in the Corridor Digital studio, and it's just immensely fucking weird. Because there's a guy in America, he does Tom Cruise impersonations like as a job. He's like
Is it the guy from The Final Destination or whatever it was called? That guy.
No idea.
He was. I think he was in an extra on. Oh yeah, but he looks exactly like Tom Cruise, one of the guys from The Final Destination.
He wears shades. He puts a wig on.
He did. I think he did an SNL revisit to the opera thing.
He might have been on that. Yeah. So but he does that. But they put Tom Cruise's face on his, and deep fake it, and it's just phenomenally like scary to think that can be done now. So we can't even trust video anymore.
Imagine someone could be deep faking us right now,
and they'd be a fucking idiot.
They might make me say sensible things.
No one would believe that. Yeah, so I think with the series and stuff going to live action, I mean, I think you touched on the same sort of points I had about the casting and stuff like that. But Huey in the series doesn't feel like Huey to me. The Simon Pegg character should be Simon Pegg character. You could have had so many different other actors to do that. It's appealing to an American audience, so I don't really appreciate that.
And he's not going to say jings.
Yeah. And the thing is, Simon Pegg playing his dad is fair enough, but it's only because Simon Pegg has made it big in America with Star Trek and things like that and Star Wars. So it's kind of annoying.
I don't know. He was like balls deep in The Boys, really, wasn't he? So
well, he's definitely involved in it, but I just think it's sad that it's not trying to recreate the charm of the original and tweaking it in the wrong places.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen it yet. I mean, he might blow us away. I've heard good things about him in the reviews, so there's that. But yeah, I was disappointed in him being like a bland American person that works in a tech store. It's just like, okay.
Mind you, didn't Huey have a shitty job?
I don't think Huey had a job. He was just like...
Well, didn't he try and be normal for a while?
He took a sabbatical and went home, but I don't think he got a...
Oh, you just cut out.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm still here. He took a sabbatical and went home, but I don't think he ever got a job.
Ah, okay. Oh, I just vaguely remember him doing something menial and stuff. I don't know, but well, I'm still open. I'm keeping my heart open for a good The Boys series. Where's Transmet? Come on.
No, Crossed is the one you want.
No.
Apparently, no, it's a Garth Ennis one, but apparently it's super fucking messed up, like even compared to his previous stuff.
No, I want Transmetropolitan.
Yeah, but that's Alan Moore, and Alan Moore hates it when people do things with his stuff.
No, Transmet's not Alan Moore.
Isn't it? I thought it was Alan Moore.
No, I think that's Ennis. Either that or Grant Morrison.
Oh, I said the Googling coming on.
I can't Google, but my PC fails to record our voices when I start Googling as well.
Oh, bonus.
So you can say anything and I have to go, oh, okay.
But no, we were both wrong. It was Warren Ellis.
Warren Ellis. Bloody hell. Jesus, how did I get that name so wrong? Anyway, it's hot in this room. I'm putting it down to the weather. Fuck you, weather.
It was designed by Derek Robertson, in fact, and he was co-creator of The Boys. So
yeah, that's how I found The Boys, because I was reading Transmet, and it was like, okay, I'll have some more from this author, please. And it was like, oh, this is new. So
with my brown gun,
it's just going to be so. That would be such a good series, though. I could really get behind that.
I don't.
Yeah,
Glasses always piss me off.
Yeah, didn't hear half of that, but hopefully it came out on the recording. But yeah, he does have stupid glasses. But he just hates everyone. It would be like, um, Hugh Laurie in House, but if he was like a bit more homicidal.
I've never seen House.
Well, you should watch House because it's good. I spanked the entire fucking series, all 8 fucking seasons of it.
You spanked to the entire series.
I did, yeah.
Oh,
I went through it in about 2 weeks. I was watching it all the time.
Jesus Christ. Let me finish off Grimm first.
It's just a really good. I mean, it's a series that just is American, very much so, in that episodic, loose linkages to other episodes, but it's a monster of the week kind of. This is this week's episode, and this is that week's episode, and the stuff that happens underneath it. But at the end of the day, it's actually good to watch. It's funny.
See, I always like Monster of the Week type stuff. It's like when you had X-Files, like early X-Files was fucking brilliant.
Yep.
And then it became the same every week. Where you had like, Mulder's found something unusual. Mulder finds proof of aliens. Mulder loses proof of aliens. No one believes him.
They
Next
cuddle.
Yeah, exactly. There is it's a really good episode of X-Files. I think it's called Ziggy or something like that. It's like a weird concoction of like Z, X, and Y or something. But basically there's these 2 girls in high school, and they were born on a certain day, and that meant the power of the cosmos was focused upon them, and they have these superpowers. Do you know what day that was?
Christmas.
That was my fucking birthday, mate. Down to the year exact. I have the power of the cosmos on me, bitches.
Probably explains why you got no hair.
Well, yeah, it was fucking 40 years ago. Jesus.
So, it's X-Files is just one of those programs that had an absolute zeitgeist and couldn't fucking escape it for about 5 years, could you?
No, it was great when they did like the Russian eel men thing, the like sucker men with the face, and the Eugene Toombs that was like Squishy Guy 3-year events. That one.
I remember that one. That was like the first episode or something, wasn't it?
And the fucked up inbred family from Home, which is like fucking dark even for now. But then it just became aliens all the fucking time, and I was just like, I am so bored of this. I am stopping watching. Thank you.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's the whole jumping the shark, isn't it? It gets to a point where they're just going, oh, people like aliens, so let's do more of that.
Yeah, but they never gave you any answers. It was like Lost in that respect. It was always like at the end of every episode, it was exactly the same as the start of the episode. Mulder believes, Scully doesn't. Mulder had proof that could have proven to Scully, but he doesn't have it now. Never mind. More next week.
Well, Lost was much the same, where it would be like, there's an explosion. Jack has a cry. Kate looks all pensive, and then Logney looks at Jack. Sawyer makes
Polar bear!
Sawyer just makes a quick comment about how fat Hurley is, and Hurley's like, why don't everybody just like each other? And then it'd be like, next episode, oh yeah, and then there's a big hatch. And it's like, fucking hell.
It's a load of unpleasant people sat on a fucking beach.
The problem was that show was so good when it started. I mean, we're talking never seen before levels of intrigue and fantastic writing to start with. Like the way they threw things in, and it's like you suddenly got this whole picture was like being painted out in front of you, and it's brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And then you were waiting for the then, and that never happened. It was just more painting.
I watched the first 2 seasons and the start of season 3. And at the start of season 3, they didn't pay off anything from the previous 2 seasons, I was like, fuck off.
Well, I kept going, and I think I stopped before the last final season. I watched the last final season, and I was like, I knew kind of what would happen, but I was like, are you shitting me?
That's what everybody thought when it came out.
Yeah, before you'd even watched an episode or 2 episodes, you're like, yep, that's it. That's what happened. And it was just annoying. I mean, it was so lazy by the end. They were trying to wrap it up in a single episode, and it just failed miserably. And it did suffer from writer's strike, if I remember.
Yeah, but not for fucking however many seasons it was. Jesus.
But I think Lost originally was commissioned as a 3-series and it
Yeah, it was
gets.
supposed to be 3 seasons. Yeah.
Then they went to 4, and then they said no, we're only going to do. I went to 5, then it came back to 4, and then they said no, we're going to do another one. It's going quite well now, so they ended up having to change the story around loads. So
There was a story. It just seemed like you had the writers in a room, and you had two like plastic boxes with just words in them, and they would just pick out like 2 different words and be like, polar bear, raft. Let's go there.
yeah, I mean, I did like some programs have a good facet or a good like mechanic in the storytelling. For example, like Family Guy as a cartoon when he does the flashbacks, that always makes it funny for me whenever I watch it.
Quantum Leap.
Well, yeah, there's a mechanic there. Very good, very good. Endless scope is fantastic. But in Lost, they had the same kind of thing, but they would replay elements or series or bits from a different viewpoint in the same. So you were familiar with it, and they go, "Oh, but you didn't see this bit here." Like there was statues everywhere, like in the first season, I think.
Yeah, just out of shot that we didn't show you.
Yeah, exactly. But it was like, okay, this is how we can link it back, and that's good. That keeps it together. But if you suddenly start introducing a whole load of new characters, a whole load of new situations, and you can't keep track of what's fucking going on.
I totally disagree with that statement, by the way. It's not good because if they showed the statues like when they occurred, even if it was just a fleeting glimpse, that would have been fine. But to go back and say, oh no, there were statues there, that's just lazy writing, my
Do not give me the Babylon 5 argument when I used that on you many years ago. How dare you?
I haven't even seen all of Babylon 5. What are you talking about?
So for those of you that never watched Babylon 5 because you weren't fucking born, it was a sci-fi series that connected the very first scene in the 10 years of it being, or 5 years of it being a thing, and the very last shot of the series. It was all interconnected. And it was just like written that way from the outset.
Yeah, I can believe Michael J. Straczynski did that, yeah.
So that element of writing, I mean, that's just...
It was like Stalin. He had a glorious 5-year plan. That's a boys' joke, by the way.
So I'm really looking forward to... I'm also looking forward to Shazam.
I like Zachary Levi. I love Chuck.
So
the show.
Yeah,
cool. I mean, to be fair, I would have preferred if they waited so he could have bulked up a bit more rather than giving him a plasticky suit.
Fuck it, it's fine.
No, I'm okay with that because, he's supposed to be like over the top comic booky, which is fine. So that's fine. But it would have been better if they just let him have the time to actually bulk up. He was doing it. He was committed and was putting on muscle by like quite a lot. He got pretty buff, but he didn't get like fucking superhero buff in time.
Yeah. I do. I mean, the obvious ones I want to see as they come out. I want to see Endgame. I want to see Spider-Man: Far From Home because it's fucking a good Spider-Man. But obviously, I know he makes it in Endgame now because the fucking film's out. So.
Well, yeah, but I mean, to be fair, Far From Home had been announced before Endgame even released. So.
Well, yeah, and loads of others. So I know quite a few people kind of make it. But I wonder how this kind of Marvel dominance is going to continue because they'll have to start rebooting stuff in the way that modern cinema goes. They've been doing it for 10 years. So,
well, we're getting a female Thor.
I did hear that.
Yeah, which, I can't be too pissed off about because, yeah, they did that in the comic books as well. I think CM Punk actually wrote some of that. Jane becomes Thor in the comic books. But she's suffering from cancer, and every time she changes to Thor, it weakens her. Because like the drugs don't have any effect on her while she's Thor, so she basically flushes her system out.
Okay. Well,
so
I won't talk too much about that because that sounds like Endgame stuff. So I'm not gonna even look at that because it's probably ruined for me now.
No, but it does lead me on to an interesting point that I told you I was going up, so you can be angry at me later.
Oh,
we're going there.
If you spoil Endgame, I will drive to your house and kick the shit out of you.
I'm not spoiling Endgame.
Good.
It's just the way studios are treating the... You're going to have to help me with this acronym, mate, because it's so fucking long I can't remember it anymore. The LGBTQ+, is that it all?
That'll do.
That'll do. It's like all the big houses are like, oh, look, we've got a lesbian in as the main character. Look, we've got the first transsexual superhero. That was an ill-timed cough. I'm sorry. And it's just, I'm just sat there looking at it like, I would have thought that the people that are members of those communities would have just liked to have been people and not judged purely on the fact that they're a lesbian or a transsexual person, because that's kind of what you do, and you're kind of making it like, oh, look, I got a transsexual in this movie. That's the most important thing about them.
Well, they never say it like that, Lee. That's the difference, isn't it?
Oh no, they're just like, oh, we're so proud to have the first lead lesbian character, and she's a vegan, which is what is happening in Batwoman, by the way.
Yeah, I know that. But I think the problem is that when you have nobody being represented in those mediums, it becomes apparent there's nobody in those mediums.
Yeah, but if we watch a movie where the lead character is female, which happens, despite what some people would tell us, there's no love interest, there's no romance in that movie, who's to say she's not a lesbian?
Well, no one. It's not necessarily a thing. It's fine.
I mean, if you meet someone at work, I mean, like, how long is it before you go, hey, are you straight? Yeah, you don't do that.
Oh, don't you?
Not do that. Well, you shouldn't do that. So you treat them like a fucking person. You don't ask them what their sexuality is and then judge them on that. You treat them like a person because you're a decent human being.
Yeah, but you're talking about people that are comfortable in those particular roles and sexualities. And this is not going to be a podcast about sexuality, but what you have to remember is that when you have you and me growing up and looking at the role models of comic book heroes, of Superman, big strong bloke with virtues and lessons to teach, etc., and you've got someone to look up to and trying to emulate in your life, as kids do, run around trying to be Superman and Batman and whatever. That's something that us straight white kids as males had as a role model. And yes, I think people just want to make sure that there are role models for the people that aren't like that.
But running around as Superman, occasion me to don my grandmother's tights. Answer me that.
Well, you were doing Superman wrong, weren't you?
Well, yeah, they weren't blue, but they were as close as I could get.
There we go. You got it wrong. Just admit it.
They're like 20 denier.
So basically, my point is that for people that might not feel represented or have someone to look up to as a role model to go, look, I associate and relate to. Like I was saying with Captain Marvel earlier, I mean, as a superhero element, I had nothing in relation to that character because they were just so far removed. If you imagine,
that's because she was a bland non-character
with ultimate ability and zero weakness. But if you are,
it's like Superman done shit.
But if you had a Superman type character that wasn't straight, hasn't Spider-Man been gay at some point? Isn't there a theory that Miles Morales is gay?
Oh, Miles Morales. I don't know. I've never read any of his comic books.
I might be confusing him with somebody else, so don't quote me. But I'm sure there's been efforts to bring that kind of element in to well-known characters. But I haven't got a problem. It doesn't ruin the characters for me. Changing the characters might have an issue with some people, but to have an openly gay character or an openly queer character, it's absolutely fine.
I'm fine with that. What annoys me, like in Supergirl, they had a trans woman. That's where she's a woman now, right? Yeah.
Well, so. a woman who is trans. Yeah.
Yeah. So she is now a woman. She has transitioned to a woman. Probably a better way. And they were like, "Oh, look, we've got a trans woman actor," and I was just like, nice legs. Yeah, I really didn't fucking care. But it was like they were pushing it so hard, and it just annoys me because these are just people that are as good as bad as anyone else. It's the whole race argument. Is if this person's skin color is this color, he's bad. No, fuck off. If he's a dickhead, he's bad. That's what it comes down to.
But also, we are in a time. I mean, we've had you wouldn't have seen a film like Black Panther be made 15 years ago.
Yeah, when was Blade made? Can't be that far off.
I think it's a little bit different if you're comparing a positive character like Black Panther to a fucking vampire. Yeah?
Oh, come on, Blade's a positive character. I like Blade.
He's not, he's an asshole.
Well, they're about to fucking reboot him, so I guess we'll say.
We will. But what I'm saying is that, you know, the normality now of having a non-white character in a lead role is not even thought about. It's I'm not saying it's common as it probably could or should be, but it's not something people go, oh yeah, but he is a bit black, isn't he?
Okay, so let's flip the switch, cuz. Oh yeah, I went there.
Uh-oh. Do I have to cut out the fucking sound now? Are you going to say something that I'm going to have to cut out?
No, I'm just going to ask you a question. Where do you stand on 007 being a black female?
007 being a black female. Haven't got a problem, but it'll have the same problem that Doctor Who had.
What, and it's a bad idea because that was never the original creator's intent?
Well, I think the problem that we had with Jodie Whittaker, and I will say this, that the female Doctor, it was a terrible series. That series that Jodie Whittaker's just done was fucking terrible. But it was terrible because it was mixed up too much.
It's also terrible because I quite like Jodie Whittaker and it feels connected to the...
Well, good job that you cut out during that, because I think you were about to say you wanted to fuck the Doctor. So we'll move on. But certainly from my position, if you have to remember that the idea of 007 is a certain type of spy. It's like it's the coolest person you'd ever meet in your life. It's the man. Well, I say the man for the current incarnation. It's the man that every man wants to be and every woman wants to be with, right? That's the idea. There's nothing wrong with a woman doing the same thing, being that every woman would want to be and every man would want to be with. Fine. Absolutely fine.
The problem I have is Ian Fleming was famously misogynistic. So he'd be spinning in his grave to see what they're doing with his license, basically.
Yeah, but it's not his anymore, is it?
Well, come on, you gotta respect the creator. It's like turning fucking Star Trek into a porno. You know, you think Gene Roddenberry would be proud of that? And I bet there is actually Star Trek pornos out there.
Well, of course there is, yeah.
Right, I'm gonna have to Google. Hang on a minute.
But I seriously don't have a problem with it. I would want to see that just to see what they do with it. To be honest, there's so many Bond films that have been made over the years are utter fucking tripe.
Oh god, yeah.
So how can you really put up on a pedestal and go, oh, how can we do this to 007 when it's not even that good? Like sometimes, I mean, some of the more recent ones, they were tripe.
Timothy Dalton was the best Bond. Fight me, bitch.
Roger Moore.
No.
Easily.
Roger Moore actually ruined Timothy Dalton.
Good.
Because he was so light and fluffy, and then they brought in Timothy Dalton, who basically did the same thing as Daniel Craig did, and made it like dark and edgy and Bourne-like. And it was too soon coming off of Roger Moore when they wanted to watch people run across alligators.
Exactly, and prepare for re-entry and stuff like that. It's all good.
Yeah, Jane Seymour remains the best Bond girl. I will say that to my dying day.
So I mean, what's wrong with having... There's nothing wrong with it, but like you were saying earlier, if it's a concerted effort to do that, that's a different kettle of fish. I think if we want to tell this story, to tell this story the best way possible, I think we should consider having Bond as a woman. That's all right for me.
No, I don't agree, because James is a fucking stupid name for a girl.
Jamie?
As Michael is in Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah, that's just stupid. I still don't agree with that part. But
no, I think the main problem I have with it is I wouldn't have a problem with her being...
You've cut out...
I wouldn't have a problem with her being a 00 agent, because women are strong and they can do, 99% of what men can do. Well, 99%. Come on,
they can do everything a man can do.
Yeah, really? Why is like the Olympics segregated then?
because
They wouldn't win any fucking medals.
Well, they would. They would. Believe me, you can see some women in the Olympics, they would beat the men.
Not the top flight men. Some of the men, yeah, like the lower rank men, mid-table men, perhaps.
What? We're not going to do. This is going to go so wrong if we keep on going.
Dude, I don't even need to argue this because, like, MMA, right? I can't remember the name of the fighter, but she's a trans fighter. So she was a man who transitioned into a woman. And do you know what she's doing? She's beating the fuck out of all the women.
Yeah, but MMA hasn't got a sex class, is it?
Yeah, men aren't allowed to fight women. But she's trans, so she's classified as a woman now.
Yeah, but what I mean is it's just on weight. It's not on sex.
Yeah, but you take a man and a woman of equivalent weight, and generally speaking, not all the time, you will have the exceptions. A man would be stronger in that regard. It's just biology.
Well, it's biology, but to say that means they can't do everything a man can do is a bit silly.
Well, no, they can do the same thing, but not. I don't want to say not as well because that sounds really.
Because that's all you can say. So let's just cut this conversation down because this is not Overbite Gaming Podcast. This has turned into fucking Social Justice Warrior 101.
Well, I am kind of like an anti-social justice warrior.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So
fuck you all.
So my answer to your question is, yeah, I can see it, and you don't agree. Let's move on.
Quite filling up some time. What you want? It was relevant.
Yeah, it did. But I think actually that might be a place to shut it down unless you've got anything else you want to cause social injustice with.
Probably, but I'll leave you off with it.
Well, it's been a pleasure. It's been over an hour in this hot fucking ass room. Talking about everything but gaming today, but that's been a nice change. It's nice.
We did a bit of studio stuff. Studio?
Stadia.
Yeah, close.
Yeah.
I'm on my third beer. Fuck off.
I'm not. I need to go and get one. But yeah, so we're going to cut it short there. We'll cut it short after an hour. But guys, don't forget, we do have videos on our channel every Wednesday and Saturday. I say that now, but to be honest, I'm going on holiday soon, and if I don't get time to make some videos, that might not be the case. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. It keeps us in likes and subscriptions, I guess. Really.
Yes. And that and like £1.50 buy me a coffee.
Yeah, you are cheap. And when was the last time you bought a coffee, mate? Because that's really not how much they cost.
Do jars of coffee count?
Yeah, I suppose I'll give you that. Yeah, so check back then on Wednesdays, Saturdays for some awesome content, and I hope you've all enjoyed this hour-long rant about random things. But to be honest, both of you won't have got this far, so I don't think there's going to be any damage on uploading this one.
Yeah, fight me in the comments, you fuckers.
Please fight him. Oh, please fight him. That'd be fantastic. But anyway, until next time, I'm going to say sayonara, and I'll catch you next time.
Sayonara? That's a bit racist.
Why is it? Oh no! Don't start. Anyway, guys, take care. See you again soon.
Take it easy, guys.
Okay, love you. Bye bye.